and welcome to day 2 of our live coverage from Snetterton of the 2019 Mini Challenge Championship. It's the grand finale. The Cooper S's are up first. Now, the championship has been won by Dan Butcher-Lord. However, he's not on pole position because this is a reverse grid, which should shake things up for the first couple of laps. Richard, over to you.
Thanks very much, Michelle. Yeah, 2 days of superb racing about to climax here, and we've got 3 different mini Formula of course to cover over the course of today. But starting off with Cooper S, some of the older cars going off on their green flag lap now, and as Michelle said, reverse grid, which sees Kieran Economy starting on pole position. He's in the white 21. Steve Webb in 231 is next up. Then we've got Sammy Bowler, the lone lady racer in this group, followed by Stuart McLaren. Then we've got the champion, Daniel Butcher-Lord, Rob Austin in the 24 car, and Alan Lee completing the grid. A few stories from overnight, which first of which is that the 190 car, you can see at the back there, of Alan Lee had a off yesterday, and all of the other competitors signed a waiver to agree to allow Alan Lee to switch to a spare car for the remainder of the meeting, and that's pretty good form really from everybody. And well, not the greatest of starts then for Alan in his new car. Better to get the spin out of the way on the green flag lap rather than in the race. But yeah, very sporting of everybody to sign the waiver. I think it's also happened in the Cooper Pro-Am Championship, and we'll talk more about that when that race comes up later on this afternoon. That's our final race of the weekend's coverage. Kieran Economy, though, starts on pole position, coming down into Agostini on the green flag lap. Keir, who comes from Lichfield, it's an Aaron Reeve Motorsport prepared car, and these are partial reverse grids, so the effectively top 5 from yesterday were all the finishers that we had in the Cooper S class, which runs back to the early days of the Formula, when these actual specification cars, the R53s and the R56s, were the JCW badge cars. Chris Smiley winning the championship as far back as 2013 from Chris Smith and Jake Packen. Jake, a driver who had been long associated with mini racing, and Chris Smiley, of course, now racing in the British Touring Car Championship. And I make the point that if you want to go touring car racing, there is really no better place to start than any step of the ladder within the Mini Challenge. So if Chris Smiley can do it, maybe you can do it as well. Also, the Mini Challenge, of course, is a great place to come and race and stay, even if you haven't got the budget or maybe the inclination to go further up the ladder. It's a super place, as evidenced by the very wide age ranges we have in the championship, and also the demographics of where the drivers live. We've got drivers from all over the UK come and race in the championship, so it's got a very broad appeal in terms of ages and experience and locations. The calendar pretty varied as well in terms of the circuits that we race at. We actually started the season for the Cooper S's here at Snet back in May, relatively late start to the season, I guess you could say, back in May. Then we went to Alton Park up in Cheshire, triple header for the Mini Festival at Brands Hatch, then double header at Croft, and twists and turns and climbs, dare we say, of Cadwell Park, which was back in September. And then a penultimate race was at Donington Park, or races, because each race is a double header. And obviously back here at Snetterton this weekend, it's actually a triple header at Donington Park in September, which set us up for the finale, which happened yesterday. And as Michelle mentioned on the introduction, the championship sewn up by Daniel Butcher-Lord in yesterday's race. He was our only champion to be confirmed across our 3 classes yesterday. We think that Rob Austin, Rob is going to be safe in second position. He's on 692 points. Stuart McLaren on 617. And there are now only quite a lot of points, 56 points available from this race. 50 points if you win, and 6 points for fastest lap. And the top 6 drivers in the class will get fastest lap points as well. But those pretty much second. As we look at the grid, Kieran Economy then on pole position. Steve Webb is alongside the Guildford-based racer. Away we go. And our first race of the weekend underway. Let's see whether Steve Webb gets a good start, slots into second place. Stuart McLaren showing his nose there in the black number 12, but it was a good start from Keir McConomy as they're going on to Richie's first time. Steve Webb dropping back a little bit, and already Daniel Butcher-Lord, I think, has managed to get past him in the 23 car and is up into third place in this reverse grid race. So challenge on for the lead. McConomy coming under a bit of pressure here as Dan Butcher-Lord in third. Steve Webb about to be challenged by Sammy Bowler, who runs a little bit wide, comes back on track, wants to squeeze Alan Lee onto the outside line. She did leave him room, to be fair, didn't have to get any wheels on the grass on the outside there, Alan. So Sammy Bowler, starting in third place, finds herself back in fifth, so lost a little bit of ground after having a good long podium battle yesterday with Stuart McLaren, who's in P2 at the moment. Dan Butcher-Lord right behind. He'll be keen to go out with another win to add to his statistics. So good start really by all of them, and they're away. And the reverse grid giving us a chance to see some other drivers at the front. Aaron Reeve Motorsport car of McConomy. Now he's about to be passed and through on the inside line, going up into Oggie's corner. Great move by Stuart McLaren. Stuart himself a titleist in mini racing, coming out of Williams now onto the Bentley straight for the first time, and McConomy now about to be, I think, passed by Dan Butcher-Lord, who looks to the inside line, and Dan's going to have to get his head down to try and catch the number 12 car. Here he comes down the inside line, makes the move, set that up nice and early, move complete by the time they get into the left-hander. Still got the 231 car of Steve Webb right in behind. I had a message after yesterday's coverage from Carlito Moracco's mum, Alison, who told me that Steve Webb's car is Carlito's old car, in both a similar part of the world, based in Surrey. And Steve enjoying his racing. Carlito, of course, now in the Ginetta GT4 Super Cup, and had a pretty good year. Carlito, plenty of podiums for him. Another driver who started in Fiestas, but had a little dabble in Mini Challenge and very much enjoyed it, but wanted to have a try at something else sports car wise, hence moving into the Ginetta GT4 Super Cup. Across the line goes Stuart McLaren, second yesterday, and it was Rob Austin who retired from yesterday's race. Rob looking to try and close up, but not looking too happy in this race at the moment, as we watch Sammy Bowler, a lady racer from Stockport, has had 3 podiums this year, the third of which was yesterday. Butcher-Lord closing up, so it's Stuart McLaren out front. Stuart, the 2017 Cooper Am champion, ahead of Chris Middleton and Andy Godfrey, so no slouch when it comes to mini racing, and knows his circuits pretty well. The 21 car of Keir McConomy now coming under pressure from Sammy Bowler, so we're starting to get the reverse position sorting themselves out, and we very nearly got the same top 3 that we had at the end of yesterday. Sammy takes a wide line there and putting Keir under a bit of pressure, might go for the cutback here on the exit of the hairpin. Steve Webb still in the mix as well, and Steve has a look up the inside line there. It was maybe a little bit too far back, but speculative look nonetheless, as Sammy Bowler looks all over there, goes through on the inside line. Great move, second pass we've seen there going into Oggie's corner. If you'd have asked me where the passes were, I would have probably said going into Agostini, the second of the 2 hairpins. But Sammy Bowler up into third place, and she'll be looking to try and hunt down the race leader, Stuart McLaren. Race leader as was, sadly a problem for Alan Lee. Second retirement of the meeting, so 2 out of 2 retirements for him. Back to the battle for the lead into Brundle, and it is Stuart McLaren, the Cambridge-based Scot, who is there. Daniel Butcher-Lord from Peterborough, so relatively close together in terms of their home county, as it were, and certainly Dan putting pressure on. Sammy Bowler still in third place, a little bit of a lonely third at the minute. It's McLaren coming under pressure from Dan Butcher-Lord. Dan starting in 5th place for this one, very quick off the line. A very impressive season for him so far, and it'll be interesting to see when I chatted to him in depth, as it were, at Brands Hatch. He was saying about maybe doing more preparation next year. We might not see him driving. I think he feels that preparing customer cars and driving might be a little bit of a conflict, but he's certainly no slouch when it comes to mini racing with that title under his belt. Now this is an interesting battle between the two. What I want to do is just pick off the position when he's able to, This is down into the Wilson hairpin. Takes a much wider line, you can see there. Dan Stewart McLaren out front. Stewart getting a wee bit defensive. Wants to hold on to the lead as long as he can. He's done a good job so far. Unsurprisingly, Butcher Lord with the fastest lap on the first flying lap, 2 minutes 16.059, and McLaren did a 2:16.4. Sammy Bowler in third, and then Keir McConomy in fourth position in the white car, but it's Stewart still there. Runs wide, a little less wide there for Daniel Butcher Lord, who I get the impression is just having a little bit of a tease at the moment, and he'll pick his moment. There won't be the necessary urgency for Dan, so this is pretty much a relaxed race for everybody, because the main championship positions are finished, barring any retirements. So we might see Rob Austin has again continued problems. A little bit of a shrug there from one of his engineers, and Rob's not going to be able to add to his statistics, which this year amount to 4 wins, 8 second positions, no third places. As now DBL looks down the inside line, he's surely got the move done, had a very good run out of Williams down the straight and comes through into lead position. So from 5th on the grid, yesterday's winner looking like making it another double. Stuart McLaren will try and fight back, but realistically I think Daniel Butcher Lord, who won yesterday's race by some 15.7 seconds, the winning margin yesterday, and we're very nearly at the halfway stage of this opening race of the weekend, as the Danco Mini Shop car goes through the final corner. Murray's about to lose a lap. Here is Rob Austin. Oh, it looks like Rob is still belted up. Is that going to go to Parc Ferme, or is he actually going to go out? No, it's looking as if he's going to call it a day, very sadly. So Rob's second in the championship for this year, and he'll add that silver medal position to the 2018-2017 championships. He was second to Will Fairclough in 2018 and Ben Demick in 2017. And maybe Rob's year will come next year for the Cooper S class. Well, fingers crossed for him, and we look forward to seeing him back racing very, very soon. Meanwhile, Steve Webb not that far away from Keir McConomy. This is for 4th place. We've obviously lost Alan Lee and Rob Austin, same 2 retirees as yesterday, so their problems carrying over. But Dan Butcher Lord still out front. Does he improve again on lap 3? Yes, he did. 2 minutes 14.461 now for Butcher Lord. The circuit is a little bit colder than it was yesterday, and the temperatures causing the lap times to be a wee bit slower. And at the moment, around about 2 seconds off the race pace from yesterday, but DBL still out front. Stuart McLaren second. Sammy Bowler in third place. A little bit of deja vu here, because it was the same 1-2-3 yesterday. This will be Daniel Butcher Lord's 12th win of the season as we watch Stuart McLaren. Stuart will close up actually on Rob Austin now in the points, because for second place he'll pick up 44 points plus fastest lap points. But the gap between the two, we're talking about, let me see, 50, 52, 55 points between the two. No, 72 points between the two. It's getting worried then that Stuart might be able to nick second position in the championship. Talking about nicking positions, good battle on here, as Steve Webb has actually caught Keir McConomy, and a battle ensuing here for 4th place. Let's just look at the lap times. Webb last time did, well, he was a little bit slower on the last lap, Webb, having said that, 2:17.8, and Keir McConomy doing a 2:16.8. So Keir in the white Aaron Reeve car running slightly the quicker at the moment. This lap is definitely going to be a quicker one for Steve Webb though, and he's closed up and he's having a look on the outside line as they come up the first part of Centre Straight. They'll go down the second part down into Ritchie's as Sammy Bowler goes through in third, and Webb has a look on the inside line, can't quite do it, and the 231 car's now got to work out where he might be quicker. Having a look on the inside here, he's got the run. I don't think he's quite far enough up to go on the inside line into the hairpin, and McConomy hangs on to it. We've got a black and white flag for Sammy Bowler in treble 6, which is probably, well, it hasn't been for contact, so it's going to be for track limits, I'm guessing. Sammy's been in trademark style throwing the car around as usual, and There's not really an advantage to be gained for Sammy there, because she's ahead of this scrap again as Webby looks down the inside line. Again, can't quite get through. Good battle between these two. McConaughey started on pole, still there. And Steve Webb has another look now, and not quite close enough. Maybe the next corner, which is where we've seen most of the passes so far, they go into Oggies. Oggies is effectively a double apex right-hander, and then into this right-hander, which is Williams, then onto the back straight, where we'll see the two cars power their way down towards the left-hander at Brundle, right-hander round into Nelson, which leads into Bombhole. So we've just seen Stuart McLaren go through in second, Sammy Bowler in third with that warning, which I think she'll know about for track limits, and still focused on a scrap for fourth place, and Kim McConaughey still there. So it's the Lichfield-based driver ahead of the Surrey man at the moment, and Steve Webb is all over him here. This is good stuff from Steve Webb. The privateer looking to try and make the space, doesn't quite go as wide into Coram, so might lose a little bit of ground here, but has certainly taken the battle on to Kim McConaughey over the last couple of laps. Improvement again from Daniel Butcher-Lord on the previous lap, getting into the 2:12s now. I said that he was a couple of seconds away from yesterday's time, and he's actually now beaten it, in fact. 2 minutes 11.132. Sammy Bowler third. Here comes our pair scrapping for fourth place. They were actually on quicker pace than we were for yesterday. Bowler in trouble 6, being caught now, as you can see. So this is becoming a three-way battle for that final podium position. Kim McConaughey has had one podium this year already, so he may well add to that. It was third in round 10, which was back at Cadwell Park, and Sammy Bowler, I'm wondering if Sammy's got a bit of a problem, because these three have gone. As Webb looks on the inside line at Palmer, sticks his nose down the inside line, challenges for fourth position, but it doesn't quite come off, but he might get a run here downhill and into Agostini. Super three-way battle here for the Cooper S. Is a really good way to get our racing day underway here at Snetterton. And Bowler, Sammy Bowler, very definitely under pressure. That car not looking as happy as it did in the early stages. McConaughey fancies third place. Webb will fancy that too. Webb hasn't had a podium yet. Webb's best result of the season so far, he says, looking at the results, is a fourth place. He's had a brace of fourth positions, including one yesterday. So could well be a chance for podium here. We've only got 2 minutes on the clock, which would be 2 more laps of the circuit. But this seems to have woken up Kim McConaughey, who looks on the outside line of Sammy Bowler, challenging for third place and looking for his second career podium, and he's got it. He's up into third. Now can Steve Webb deal with Sammy as well, looking down the inside line and hoping to move up into fourth position. Sammy Bowler, one thing we know is that Sammy won't give up. She had a great race with Stuart McLaren yesterday and just doesn't quite seem as on it today. So Webb has now got two tasks in hand. One, to catch and pass Sammy Bowler, and then to have another go at Keir McConaughey, who's up into third position. Sammy taking a nice wide drifting line there around Coram. Super place to watch. You can see many people parked up there to watch the racing. Bowler, I think, maybe did she get the slightly better exit there out of Murray's? I don't think either of those two guys were perfect. And Sammy continues the chase across the line here. So just a reminder, it's the champion, Daniel Butcher-Lord, out front, Stuart McLaren in second place, and we're watching the three-way battle for third position at the moment down into Riches. It looks to me as if Steve Webb just dropping away a little bit now. The last lap for Webb was a 2 minute 15.2, so he has lost a wee bit of time to Sammy Bowler, who did a 2:14.5. And it was a 2:14.6 for McConaughey, but he did make that pass. Remember, he started the previous lap further back than Sammy Bowler. So although it was a slower lap from him, he did actually make the place up, and into third. So McConaughey, having fought off a good challenge from Steve Webb, then goes into attack mode and goes through. So a good drive from the number 21 at the moment, heading out of Agostini into Hamilton corner, the left-hander, and then up towards the right-hander at Oggies. So this looking actually relatively settled now. The clock is about to expire now, and we're on lap 7. Daniel Butcherlord still out front, was 8 seconds clear on the last lap from his reverse grid position of 5th. A good drive from him to pick everybody off one by one and underline his championship title. And here he is, the 2019 Cooper S champion, Daniel Butcherlord, through Bombhole down into Coram. I'm sure he's thoroughly enjoyed his racing this weekend and indeed over the season. And what a way to celebrate with another win. I tell you what, he's not letting off the gas either. He's still popping in some good lap times. 2:11.4 on the last lap. He's best at 2:11.1. Steve Webb still busy chasing Sammy Bowler. I don't think he's going to convert that into another 4th place. Sammy's going to hold on, but here's the checkered flag, and taking the win, Daniel Butcherlord secures his 12th win of the season. A Butcher's dozen as opposed to a Baker's dozen, you might say. Yeah, I know a Baker's dozen's 13, but hey, there we go. Here comes Sammy Bowler, who is chasing Keir McConomy, who should be still there up ahead in white. There's Keir, he takes the final podium slot. Sammy Bowler in 4th, 5th position goes to Steve Webb, and we didn't see, going across the line, 2nd place, Stuart McLaren, but congratulations to Stuart McLaren on 2nd place in the race, as Daniel Butcherlord, this is the opening race of the day here as well at Snetterton, so a good warm-up for the spectators, and relatively incident-free race for the marshals. One car coming pit-bound, of course, which was Rob Austin, and Alan Lee's car coming to rest by the barriers, but Daniel Butcherlord, congratulations to him, double win this weekend, secures the championship. His record, 11 wins coming into today, so that's his 12th win of the season, 2 second places, 1 third. Sure, they're the same people that were there yesterday, enjoying their racing. A little bit more in terms of layers on today though, because it is a tad nippy out there, so if you're watching at home, you're very welcome, and don't forget to share the link here on the Mini Challenge live coverage so that other race fans can enjoy our other 2 races that we're going to bring you today, with championships to be decided for the JCW class. James Gornall bringing a 9-point lead into the JCWs ahead of Nathan Harrison. I think Dan Zelos still in the mix as well. And the Cooper Pro AM class, both classes which have yet to be settled as well today, so plenty of great racing to come for you here today from the team at Snetterton. Let's run through the race result for you. Daniel Butcherlord taking the win, Stuart McLaren 2nd, Keir McConomy in 3rd, Sammy Bowler 4th from Steve Webb. Daniel Butcherlord also picks up the maximum points for fastest lap, 2:11.132. Second fastest lap of the race actually went to Keir McConomy, so he gets 5 points as Alan Lee walks back. 3rd fastest lap was Stuart McLaren, then Steve Webb, and Sammy Bowler the 5th fastest lap, so she gets the 2 points. Alan Lee didn't get a lap in, so the final point for fastest lap going to Rob Austin. The championship positions, again subject to confirmation, it's the 23 car there, Daniel Butcherlord, who wins the championship, with Rob Austin 2nd. Stuart McLaren really closing in though in that last race, so narrowed the gap down considerably, and he finishes 3rd in the standings from John Bowler, Sammy's brother, Sammy Bowler. Steve Webb in 5th position, Alan Lee in 6th, and Keir McConomy in 7th place. And good to see Keir getting another podium here, 2nd podium of the year, as they make their way along the pit straight into Parc Ferme. So a nice early start. Don't forget to set your alarms for our next race, which is the JCW finale. It's going to start just after 11 o'clock, but if you tee yourself up around about 11 o'clock, grab yourself a cup of coffee, you'll be ready for the showdown of the JCW Mini Challenge, which is going to be an absolute nail-biter over 20 minutes. Now, is she tweeting, or with her Team Hard pink bobble hat? Have we got any Team Hard entrance in that one? Probably Mini Challenge Cooper S must be one of the few championships where Team Hard haven't got an entry, so they're missing a trick there, maybe for next year. certainly every other motorsport event you go to will have a team hard racer on, but I suppose they're represented by the fans there, which is good to see in the cold weather. We were reminiscing the other day about how we used to get race results purely and only from the motorsport media, but these days you can flick up TSL, who do a super job. They're actually just above where we are here in the commentary box, and extremely helpful and talented people who have a terrific coverage, TSL, and you can obviously get all the results there online. And as I say, you used to have to wait for a Thursday for Motoring News, as it used to be called, to get any results unless you were at the meeting. So end of the season for these racers, and they'll be looking forward to their break, I suspect, and then getting back on circuit for the 2020 year. We've got, as you know, the JCW F56 cars joining Toka package next year, and they're on 8 of the 10 Toka rounds. Always good to have a hug, isn't it, in pit lane. No urgency to get our champion down to the podium at the moment.
Penis and boobs, yeah.
Oh, camera, I'm off. A few people enjoying stuff in the grandstand. Come on, give us a wave. They won't know they're on screen, will they, unless they are live streaming here as well. Nobody in the stand doing that. Okay, going back to talking about the JCW's doing 8 rounds, and the 2 rounds of the Toka Championship that the JCWs won't do will be occupied by the Cooper Pro AM class, which I don't know if it's officially been announced yet, but you know, there will be changes to regulations, and I don't want to preempt the championship for saying exactly what they are, but Cooper Pro and AM will be on 2 rounds, one of which is the Thruxton round and one of the Silverstone rounds as well. And I can't remember whether we'll see the Pro-Am class on the national circuit or the international circuit, but we're certainly looking forward to going to both of those, because Silverstone, whichever configuration it is, providing super racing. Dan Butcherlord, what a way to wrap up the season with that 12th win. Lots of handshakes. What a polite young man there. Loads of hugs as well for our champion, who really has done the business. Talented driver, like many, came up through karting. There's Mark Werrell, who's doing the podium duties today. And I know from experience doing podiums, I mean, it's only a short walk, isn't it, from Parc Fermé, but it does take the drivers a while to come through. Sammy Bowler takes her trophy. And next up is Stuart McLaren. Stuart finishing in P2. Handshake and a peck for Stuart. And a repeat of the drivers on the podium here. Sammy and Stuart having a little go. And Dan Butcherlord takes the win. Warm applause for him. Very much liked and respected as a driver, and I think the applause for all of our 3 drivers up on the podium there. Super shot. And looks like Stuart's going to get the champagne open straight away. Okay, he's ready. Sammy is not ready with her champagne, so at the moment, in terms of the champagne spraying, it's going to be Stuart who's going to be first there. As I mentioned in yesterday's coverage, Sammy Bowler, the sister of John Bowler, who races in the Division 2 British Truck Racing Association Championship, one of the front runners, had a very physical race here actually. I don't know if any of you saw the truck racing from Snetterton, but had a great race with Clio Cup champion Paul Rivette. And John got the better on track, but the result got overturned. It was supposedly a bit of a lunge. There you go. Look, he's already dispatched the champagne as Mark goes in to grab a word with our race winner. Mark was chatting to him, Mark Werrell, the commentator here, was chatting to him yesterday about the point situation on these various championships, and I think we concurred with most of them at the end of the day, but it is a tad difficult when you're sorting out the top 6 fastest laps in the screen. Mark does have a couple of helpers up with him as well, but Sammy looking happy. Be interested to know, for me, interviewing at this stage of the year is kind of find out about the run into the end of the season, and then maybe see if the drivers have got any thoughts about what they're going to do next year in terms of maybe racing the car again. So one would think that maybe Rob Austin will come back and have another go. But clearly a lot of these drivers do stay with the JCW Championship, or the Mini Challenge Championship, over the year. We're going to hand over to Michelle and see if she can get onto the podium and grab a word with Dan Butcherlord.
We are live at the podium, as you can tell. Yes, squat down, that'll make it a bit easier. Champion.
Thank you very much. It's been absolutely fantastic year. We've had some downs, but most of the time we've done a lot of prep work, make sure the car's right, and just examining all the corners. And yeah, it's been fantastic, and couldn't help it. Dan Camp Mini Shop, it's our own team. They've all done a fantastic job, and even HW Racing on board with us as well. So big thanks to them as well for helping out.
And that reverse grid really didn't prove too much of a problem in the race there, did it?
No, I mean I've had a problem sometimes with some of the starts, a bit too much fuel spin. I was like, right, I can't do it this time. At the back of the grid, I've got to make a good start, and there was a gap. Just kept going for the gaps that were there, and there we go. Rest was history.
Rest was history, and you are the champion of the Cooper S class. So congratulations. What are your plans for next year?
Well, we're definitely committed to do Cooper S again. Other than that, we may do a bit more, but I can't really say what yet.
Ooh, suspense. Well, listen, Dan, again, huge congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Brilliant, thank you. See if we can have a quick chat. Sammy's over there getting some hugs, some well-deserved hugs, actually. Hi, Sammy. Can we just have a really quick chat? We're live at the moment. Congratulations, back on the podium.
Yes, it was unexpected. I think it was just through somebody else's. I think someone got a penalty, but apart from that, I made a few mistakes. I think it's just one of them things. Sometimes tyres went off a bit, maybe pressures are a little bit high, and I made a few mistakes, combination of that. So.
But nice to be on the podium for the final race of the season.
Really, really good, yeah. I mean, at the start of the year, my goal was to have one podium, and I've ended up with 4, so I can't really complain.
Yeah.
I've had a brilliant season. So.
Yeah, you totally smashed it. So what are your plans then for next year?
I don't really know. It all depends on budget. I'm going to keep the car. I'm going to run it somewhere, see what sponsors can help me with, and see where we go. I'm going to be somewhere fighting fit. So.
Yeah, brilliant. Well deserved. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Okay, I don't know if Stuart's still around. Is he still around? I can't really see him. I don't know where he's gone. I was going to have a chat with him, but I don't think he's here. Can we see him? Oh, there he is. There you are. I was looking for you, looking for the yellow hat. So, back on the podium again. How did it go for you this particular race?
Got a fantastic start, really good start. Got in front of pretty much everyone apart from Keir, and then got Keir, I can't even remember where now, but fairly early on. And Dan followed me through, obviously, and kept with me. And a couple of missed gears. We got an issue with the synchro, and Dan got past, and I couldn't keep up because of the issues. But fantastic race, fantastic season. So yeah, really pleased with that.
Yeah. And am I right? You've taken 3rd overall, haven't you, in the championship?
Yes, that's right. Yeah, which isn't too bad in our first season, or my first season in the Cooper S class, and a brand new car that we were developing as well. So. There's still more pace to have out there, and the team have been fantastic. So yeah, it's all to play for.
Yeah, huge congratulations. So next year, what are you going to do? You're going to stick with the Cooper S, or?
We don't know right now. It depends on sponsors and money, and see what else comes up and see what happens. And I'd love to stay in the Mini Challenge. Obviously, it's great fun. It's a fantastic series. Everyone's really great fun to be around as well. It's a really happy family, so I'd love to stay in the Mini Challenge, but we'll have to wait and see.
Well, fingers crossed, and again, congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. So there we go. That is it. The championship, as far as the Cooper S is concerned, has been decided. It's all over, except it's not all over for Mini Challenge, because we've still got 2 more races to come from Snetterton, easy for me to say. The next one up is the JCWs. Now this could be a really good race. It's going to be 20 minutes. There's all to play for. It hasn't been decided yet. It's scheduled to go out at 11:05, I believe, but things are running a little bit early here, so watch out because we could go early. See you back here live for that coverage in about half an hour's time.